Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome. Appreciate everybody being here. Hey, listen, I'm going to start with this. I wasn't planning on it, but this guy did some major stuff yesterday on his channel, and I want him to tell you all about it. And if he wants to share links, he can do that because I'll tell you what, he gave some serious education yesterday on his channel. So and then we'll get into the usual stuff, the Bitcoin stuff, the debt, and I got some other news items for you. We're even going to talk gold at the end. But Joe, please tell everybody what you did yesterday, man. That was awesome.
So yesterday, I basically gave out $1,000 course. It was the Ultimate Beginner's Guide series to successful trading. I broke down everything from the very foundation of finding key levels for top-down analysis, explaining what that is, strategic placement of trend lines, plus with the trend lines, you're able to identify uptrends and downtrends. And then on top of that, I show you how to potentially see the reversal of that, because that is super important. Fib retracement, fib extension for levels of either pullbacks or targets, all-time highs. We're not there yet, but we will soon, hopefully. And that way you're able to identify that. Now, whenever I'm doing my teaching and my mentorship, I don't just show you in the moment of the market. I show you all of the market. I show you when the market's good. I show you when the market's not good, and everything in between. Most mentors, they only talk about the good market or the bad market. So when the market changes, you're not prepared. But I do that for you. Talk about tools, indicators that I use. I understand the importance of market caps, volume, extremely important. We touch on order books. We go over market structure basics. And I got a bunch of bonuses also that I did. And we'll be putting out that link in chat in just a moment. But just to let you know, if you know nothing about trading, this will be the catapult you need. If you do know something about trading, then this will be the sharpening of your skills that you may, find very useful. If you're an expert, watch my stuff anyway and see where, maybe I'm doing something that you don't agree with. Let me know. But yeah, so it was basically $1,000 course that I gave out yesterday. It was a 2.5 hour stream, super focused, and just going down the list of our criteria, and it was great. It was great. Now I am cutting them up into shorter videos. So, and I actually spent 5 hours yesterday to save you 1 hour. Now, of course, I know that your time is very valuable. CCM and I, we know this. So when we cut our videos, whether we make shorts or just shorter videos, definitely watch them. Definitely smash the like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about it. So that's pretty much what I did yesterday, and it was pretty intense.
I'll tell you what, I didn't even get to listen to the whole thing. I was on X because I'm out and about on Sundays and I can't really get into YouTube. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy is like on fire. And you talked just a second ago about the indicators, how you talked about indicators and stuff. If I recall, Joe did an entire I want to say video, maybe even a couple of videos on how to use indicators on like Trading View and all this other kind of stuff. And he went into that even again yesterday because I was listening. He's like, look, just snap this and bam, there it is. I'm like, oh, look at this. This perfect.
Yeah, so I have a whole series on Trading View where I basically go from top to bottom, left to right, inside and outside. I think I covered like 98.9% of the stuff that's on Trading View at that moment. So if you have questions on Trading View, I got you. If you have questions on trading, just spot trading, I got you. If you have questions on leverage trading, like watch my show, watch my channel, ask me questions, and we'll get you straight.
Yep. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, it was great. It was absolutely great. And I recommend it. Again, here's the times right here that Joe is live Monday to Friday at noon. Matter of fact, if you hang tight right after the stream, I'm going to forward you over there. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to forward you right on over there. And we're going to go raid Joe's live stream and weekends, 4 p.m. So make sure links obviously to Joe's channel in the description as always. Okay, I suppose we should probably kind of get things going here. We just spent like 5 minutes. Hey, you know what? That's okay, because again, if you're looking to trade, you need to check that out, because it was just gold. It was gold. And Tech Man is in the house. Tech Man, appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Listen, if you're new, make sure you're smashing that like button and you're subscribing, and share this thing out, because again, like Joe was saying, we're trying to go and spread the channel, spread the word, and we try to put out great information all the time. All right, so what do we do here on Mondays? Mondays, we try and set you straight for the week as far as crypto is concerned, give you some of the crypto news that maybe happened over the weekend. We go into the Bitcoin. Well, we don't. Joe goes into the Bitcoin chart and he breaks it all down for you. We look at the Fear and Greed Index. We look at the U.S. debt, and then we go through some other news to set you up for Wednesdays, when Joe and I are now live. This Wednesday will be our second time live, which we're running at new here at 11 a.m. Eastern time, to give you even more midweek. Eventually, I'd like to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I don't know. I don't want to stress Joe out too much. But anyway, so we're going to get through all of that. What say we started off here? And here's the first thing I brought up. Now, yesterday was Easter, and I hope everybody had a great Easter and got the chance to celebrate with family and so on. It was great. I don't know. Matter of fact, I probably should have asked you, Joe, if you did anything. My daughter took my wife and I out for like brunch, and it was great. I got to spend time with my daughter and her family. So it was awesome. What about you? Did you get a chance to do anything besides your live stream yesterday?
No, for me, I have no family. My crypto family is my family, so I take care of them. But no, just charts, making money, doing live streams, taking care of my group. So yeah,
I get it, and you're right, because as much as we for those of us that have the family outside, this is a family. Joe just hit that nail on the head, because matter of fact, it was funny. I was getting random pictures from Bedell and Shuby throughout the weekend, because if you recall from Crypto on the Rocks, they were getting together over the weekend in Nashville. So that was kind of fun. So I got some random pictures, and I'm sure Bedell will probably talk about it a little bit tonight, because don't forget, tonight, 7 p.m., myself, Bedell, and BC Pork Corp live tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, let's get into this here. So I thought, with Easter in mind, that this was really good for that you can inscribe messages into Bitcoin blocks. Obviously, if you've been here for any length of time, you know that. Well, Bitcoin's 666/666 block, 666,666. Okay, try and say that 5 times fast. They put in here a quote from Romans 12:21, which I thought was great. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. I thought that was the perfect message as we went into the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, perfect. I love it.
Yeah, it just, yeah, exactly. I that's how I wanted to start things off. But listen, we go through the Bitcoin news a little bit before Joe gets into the chart, and I saw this. And again, I get it. It's just one particular grocery store, but it happens to be, I believe, the biggest grocery store chain in Switzerland, with over almost 14,000 stores across 48 different countries, and they are starting to test Bitcoin Lightning payments. That I thought was pretty huge news for adoption. What do you think, Joe?
Absolutely huge. Love it.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see stuff like that. It just is, because it just shows you that it's slow. I get it. It's slow. We're just kind of getting into, people, what Bitcoin? What the hell is that? And getting that adoption, right, especially when we got reserves and this and that, all kinds of things. So it's really, really nice to see. And just so everybody knows, I know we spent the beginning talking about Joe's help me. Joe's live stream. He put that link in the chat, so make sure you go on and check that out. And Automatic Beats is in the house. Appreciate you being here, Automatic Beats. All right, so let's get on to the next thing that I thought was big news. If I can get my screen to work here. There we go. Charles Schwab, CEO, says that, they're looking at spot Bitcoin trading by April 2026. Now, I don't know that I would necessarily go to Charles Schwab to do that, but still, again, a lot of people use Charles Schwab. So
Right.
I'm just going to read through this real quick. And Charles Schwab CEO Rick Wurster, I don't know, I probably butchered that. Sorry about that. Is eyeing an April 2026 launch window to provide spot Bitcoin trading to Schwab clients. So again, think about how many clients they got. That's huge. Basically, he cited a 400% increase in traffic to Schwab's website as evidence of investor interest in digital assets. And he predicts here, we'll go through this quote and then we'll just banter about it in a minute. Our expectation is that with the changing regulatory environment, which has been moving in the right direction around most of the globe, at least, we are hopeful that likely to be able to launch direct spot crypto. Our goal is to do that in the next 12 months, and we are on a great path to be able to do that. I don't know. Again, more bullish Bitcoin news, if you ask me. Joe, what do you think about that?
Same. People who don't know or trust exchanges, Charles Schwab is a name that is owed, and owed money loves, the reliability of a name. So they would more than likely trade on Charles Schwab than KuCoin, MEXC, Gate.io. So it's a good move.
Yeah, you know what? You say I was going to ask if you thought that might be the case with regard to this, and for people again of a certain age, I know I'm of that certain age, but anyway, for people of a certain age, that might actually be more like to their liking than, like you just said, a Kraken or something. I hadn't really considered that completely, but that makes good sense, Joe. That makes good sense. All right. Hey, 100 Air is in the house, buddy. Appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. On the road again, no doubt, I'm sure. But anyway, he always is. Always. But we appreciate him tuning in. All right, let's get on to the next thing here. Let me get this off. And last piece of Bitcoin news before we have Joe get in. We'll look at the fear and greed first, and then we'll have Joe get into the chart. Now, I'm only going to highlight a couple of pieces of this for a couple of different reasons. First off, the fact that Arizona has a Bitcoin reserve bill basically moving through its legislative process. And that's huge. But the fact that it's facing a veto, and you're going to see why in a minute, it has nothing to do with Bitcoin, has nothing to do with a strategic reserve. It's all politics. It's all politics. And sometimes I'm just not a fan of this whole political crap. Anyway, without getting into that too much, Arizona on the cusp of becoming the first state to have a government-backed Bitcoin reserve, and it highlights the bill number here, and it is now one vote away from heading over to the governor's desk. In this case, Katie Hobbs is the governor over there in Arizona. However, she said she will veto all bills until a bill to fund disability services is passed. So again, politics as usual we see in our system here. But basically, it goes on to say that on April 17th, this bill passed the House committee, and it's basically cleared to go to the governor. And if you see here, it shows you the breakdown of the process that it goes through from introduction to where it currently is in the second chamber, and passing that and getting ready to go to the governor's desk. And basically, this bill creates a digital asset strategic reserve managed by the Arizona State Treasurer. Oops, sorry about that. I kind of zipped a little too far. Funds will be made up of digital assets seized in criminal proceedings and funds allocated by the state legislature. And it's just to round this up, it says that the treasurer will be able to invest up to 10% of the fund's value into digital assets like Bitcoin, stablecoins, NFTs, and other blockchain-based assets in any given year. So again, all good news and bullish news. Unfortunately, it may get caught up in political bull. I know you and I are of the same mind on a lot of this political stuff, Joe, but feel free to kind of jump in there and tell me what you're thinking.
No, I'm right there with you, man. It's just another stepping stone, another potential red tape, but we're getting closer and closer to where everybody, just like you'll say fiat. It's like, what's fiat? Bitcoin. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. I got Bitcoin.
Yeah,
getting closer and closer. We're still early, but
amen.
Just every day, every step, so it's good.
Yeah, facts. Like I said, I kind of hope it doesn't get, bulldozed because of politics at this point. I really do, because this would be something that's great for the state, obviously, and the majority of the legislators who are probably listening to their constituents, heaven forbid, believe that this is the right move. So
now I have a question for you.
I'll do my best.
Let's say Bitcoin is now accepted for groceries and paying your bills and everything else. So that's the goal, for it to be the currency. How would you feel knowing that you spent, let's say this month, $1,000 on your light and maybe like gas or groceries or whatever, just $1,000? And how would you feel in like the next month that $1,000 is now worth $4,000?
Oh,
like how would that make you feel? Because there's one thing as far as money goes, because like for money, I mean, I can buy 25-cent stick of gum for 25 cents or $1 or whatever it is, and if I go back there next year, maybe it's $1.07, so it costs a little bit more, $1.20.
Yep.
But what if it's the opposite way, to where, man, I used to, like, the money that I spent is now worth way more. So, like, how is that going to impact the psychology of just people? I'm paying my bills, I'm paying this and that. I owed you $100, here's $100. But now that value is so much more. It's like, man, if I would have just held that, that $1,000 is now $4,000. Maybe there's another currency I can use, because this one, like, I'm losing money by paying people,
Yeah, no, listen, I talk about it all the time. I do pay some stuff with crypto. So
right.
I have thought through what you just asked me right there many times. And sometimes it's funny, because I remember using, the Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever to go and pay for certain things. Back when Bitcoin did that dip down into like $5,000-$7,000, what was that, 3 years ago now or something like that? And
right.
I think to myself, man, why? That would be like 10x today,
Right.
what I spent, and it wasn't like I spent a crap ton, but the point is, I do think about that, and I try not to let it bother me. That's the first thing. Try not to let it bother me too much, but I do think that that's going to be a psychological hurdle that a lot of people are going to have to like get over once
right.
they realize the value of it. But you brought up the point that there are other cryptos to use, and again, Litecoin I think is great for that. Again, I still think Litecoin has a lot of growth potential as well. However, I'd rather use Litecoin to do that, and I still hold some Litecoin, but that and Dash. Dash can still appreciate, and it does, but I don't know. I feel it a little bit less with Dash, because
the volatility is not there.
Yeah, well, not just that. That's what it's meant for. It is literally meant to be that digital cash. So I buy it with, I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but I buy it kind of with that mindset of, this is money.
So
it could go up.
To me, it's different. like for Dash, I buy $100 worth of Dash now. Next year is maybe worth $1.10 or 110 or maybe 90. So it's not crazy, but so like something like that, it's more stable to where I don't mind. The psychology is not like, oh man, like if I would have just held on, it's a payment. I bought it so that I could make payments, and it's easier for my just thought process is okay. I spent money and it didn't increase in price to where it's like, man, why do I do that? Bitcoin, on the other hand, because everybody's storing it, kind of like gold, they're just storing it, so it's making the value go up even more. That to me, I personally, I would not want to spend my Bitcoin on payments. I would rather spend something that's more stable because I have a greater chance of increasing my value or my worth if I just hold it too. So,
yep, I'm with you. And 100 Air is saying here, Joe, I think that BTC was used as currency. Did I read that right? Oh, I think that if BTC was used as currency, the volatility will have become flat. And that point, yeah. Oh, and that's
that's what it
true. I
needs.
mean, yeah. The more adoption we have, the less volatility there'll be. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And sorry, I screwed up reading that up. My old man eyes here. But BC Port Corp in the house. Again, seeing he's here, we're just going to mention it. Don't forget, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, myself, BC Port Corp, and Bedell will be live for Hodl the Line, man. And listen, Joe he beat me to even saying it right there. We got a new BC Port Corp emoji for those who are watching on YouTube. Go ahead, put that in the chat. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Let's see. Techman is saying, I've been mining script and paying and payout in some Dash. Yeah, I love Dash. And again, because I do pay for certain things with crypto, and Dash is one of those things I use. And if you're looking to hold Dash, not for nothing, again, I've mentioned this a number of times. And if you're looking for the Living on Crypto series, the link is in the description. Go ahead and watch that. I actually show you how you can stake your Dash right in the wallet. So if you're looking to do that, you can do that. And we kind of got way down a rabbit hole there. I appreciate the conversation, though, because you know what? It's an important conversation to have, Joe. So thank you for that question, man. Thank you. But I think we need to take a quick look at the fear and greed index. What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be not so fearful just because we had a nice little pump. So we'll see.
Yeah. You know what? Here it is. And it is still in fear. But like you just said, look at it. It's 39. It's almost in that like moderate category. So yeah, that pump I think really affected the fear and greed index. So you are spot on with that guess.
It's looking good. We'll see if we come out, or if there's just another fake out. We'll see.
Well, that's funny. For those who are watching on YouTube, that's the poll I got listed there. Is this like moon mission time, or is this just a fake out? Make sure you answer that poll. I can't wait to see what the results of that are at the end. All right, Joe, you ready to go and take a look at the Bitcoin chart?
Let's rock and roll.
All right, you're up, brother. Here you go.
All right. So this Bitcoin, this is on the 1 hour time frame. I love looking at Bitcoin on the 1 hour, but let's go to the 4 hour just so we can see the bigger picture. When we were here, I was thinking that we're going to come down just due to the fact that we had this really nice run up. We had this, and then we had a higher high, and then we had this lower low, but then it started getting really weak. Now, one thing with me, I show you what I was thinking or my thought process in the moment of the trade versus what everybody else does. They look for reasons. If it went up, it's because of this and this, and so they're never wrong. For me, I let you know I'm wrong. Like here, I was wrong. I thought just based off of the movement here, we have a high, then a low, a higher high, a low, a lower high, and then now it's just kind of doing nothing. So here I'm thinking we're going to come down to this area, then possibly come up, get rejected around here, come down. Now, as the price started coming down, of course, I notified my group, and I let them know that Here are three possible areas of bouncing. And this is the one thing that I hate. Well, there's a lot of things that I hate about trading. One of them, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't. So all we can rely on are our levels. And here, I believe my levels were on a. Sometimes I have these levels on a 1 hour. Sometimes I have a 4 hour. But our levels at the time, price action was right here. I'm thinking it's going to roll over, and I said the places that I see that we could potentially get a bounce. Again, we don't know. Is this level right here, this level right here, or possibly this level, and let's just see what happens. And what we do is we react. Price came down, came up, broke this level's not looking good. Then it starts to roll over. Now is the chance. This is what I call the decision point. Now is the chance, the timing for us to come down, come up, come down some more, and then continue coming down for this thought process to come out. However, it came down and it bounced right for this area. Again, we don't know if it's this one, or this one, or even bounce at all. We don't know. We just react. It bounced over this area, then it started coming up. Now here is the
It looks
chance.
like a perfect bounce too.
Yeah.
I mean, right on it.
And here, sometimes, this right here would be my decision point. This is the time, if it's going to come down, to potentially come down, then come up. Now break this level, and then continue down. However, decision point, boom, it has to break this level, and then just went moon mission. And this is why it's so extremely hard. Now, there's other people that say, oh well, this indicator and this indicator, blah blah. The indicators are wrong. The indicators are right. The levels are wrong. The levels are right. We are literally at the mercy of price action. And once you humble yourself and realize that we are literally at the mercy of price action, the indicators only react to what the price action has done. Not will do, but has already done. Past tense. So what we do is we just react. And here, here's an alert. Price went up. And whenever we have this really nice run up like this, and then it kind of rolls over, and then it shoots up again, and then it does a little bit of a run over, and it shoots up again, that's not sustainable. When that happens, we have rollovers. So like this, how this was okay, but this right here shot up, then the rollover. This is what's called an impulse move, or just a really big move, either up or down. Whenever this happens, there's a very strong chance that we come to revisit it. Sometimes we don't, very rare that we don't. Immediately anyway. Eventually we might. But right now, Bitcoin is still, just to wrap it up, Bitcoin is still in the downtrend. We can see this downtrend here. The level that it needed to break first, because there's levels of this, was this orange line of 85.7. It needed to break this to start the potential trend change. Because right now we're in this downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. Now this was the first break of this high, which is good. Now what we need to do, this is our main one at 88.350. Price action, I mean, it might not break it right now, this hour, but it might break it hopefully within the next maybe day or two. If we're, attack this, maybe a slight retrace or about 50% of this move, go back into this area where we had the impulse, and then come up, break this level. And now once we start breaking this 88.350, now we're potentially on the right track of being bullish. Right now, everything is still bearish. And the reason I say that is because what we're now starting to do, we're now starting to create higher. I know this is like really messy, but what we're starting to do is we're starting to create higher highs. Here's our high. If we break this level, guess what we're doing? We're creating a higher high and a higher low. So from a downtrend now to potentially an uptrend, this is the transition phase, if this is the transition. So we could come up here, but then once we lose a low, and this is why it's very important to understand market structure, but once we lose the the strong low, then we're on the chance or the verge of a possible continuation of this downtrend. So everything is just step by step, level by level, and this is what we're looking for. The main zone that I'm looking for is right here. Once we get above this, I think we're golden, which is 94,270, 91,965. Once we break above this, I think we're golden to where now we can come up, down, and if we do come down, not a problem. But now everybody's going to start getting bullish. Let's go.
Right.
Moon mission.
Yeah, change the sentiment for sure. And I just want to point this out. I put it up on the screen while you were talking, and yeah, thank you. Thankful for your honesty, Joe. And facts, man, facts. He if he loses, he tells you. If he wins, he tells you. And you're right. That is rare sometimes in this space.
So many they look for excuses or for reasons, and or they double talked and like. And whenever I do, like, oh, it might go up or it might go down, I always do, this is my plan A. This is what I'm more leaning to, but, it could do this. So if it does go up and I wasn't thinking it, I let you know. Like, I wasn't right. This is what I thought was going to happen. And this is what happened. It could have happened. Like, we don't know, but I was more leaning to this. But, yeah, I'll do that too.
Yep. And BC is chiming in and saying he's looking for that 88.8 resistance, and it's funny because I think you said 88.3. So like you guys are like within $500 of each other looking at that. So that's kind of interesting.
And it all depends too on the time frame that you're looking at. So if you're looking at a bigger, larger time frame or a short time frame, those are your levels. But yeah.
And of course, ding, the ribs are done. There you go. Hashtag rib chat. That's too funny. Hashtag rib chat. All right. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you looking through all that.
And to add to that, it also depends on what exchange you're looking at too, because the numbers are different. So I may be looking at Binance. Somebody else may be looking at their exchange. So the numbers will be slightly different. So just to let everybody know that it's always the exchange that you're trading on that you have to look at. And I just use Bitcoin because it has I just use Binance because a lot of people use Binance.
I would think it also probably has the highest amount of volume, out of all of them. Yeah, that makes complete sense. All right, I guess we'll keep going. Oh, I accidentally closed my sharing window. Sorry, guys. So here we go. We are going to go and take a look at where we were on the Fear and Greed Index last week. And then after that, we're going to look at the live debt clock and Doge clock. Sometimes I forget the Doge, but we got to definitely look at that. And then we're going to get into some other news, mixed bag. And we're going to round off with gold. And then, of course, we're going to be heading to Joe's live stream, and we're going to go raid his live stream here in just under a half hour. All right. So let me bring up the screen here now that I messed it up, and got to go find it again. Here it is. This is where Joe, the debt was last week when Joe and I were live. It was at 36,724 billion. And Doge, as you can see here, was at 316 billion in savings, and obviously climbing. Here now is the active debt clock, and you can see we're still in that range we seem to fall into with regard to the debt. 36,753 billion. So again, just about that $30 billion category. And then Doge 343. So what is that? That's about another 25 billion, give or take, in savings. I don't know. I'll take it, Joe. I mean, we seem to be consistent, and I love Doge going up. So any thoughts or anything else you want to add to that?
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving seeing the numbers not be what it used to be, as far as like just outrageous, debt. Like I was literally gonna talk to my doctor about upping my prescription of blood pressure because it was just nuts. And now I actually look forward to this. I'm looking forward to seeing that the debt isn't as much as the steady increase what it used to be. It's not even close. So it's You can see that the it's like having a water hose, like the money's still going out, but it's got a kink in it. It's kind of folded to where it's
Yep.
still kind of going, but it's way better than what it was. So yeah.
Yes.
I like
Facts, man. Facts. And like I said, I'll take it. I mean, again, we'd like to see the debt going in the other direction, but like Joe says, that kink in the hose is, I'll take it for now.
Yeah.
I'll take it for now. All right, so that's where we are. Now let's go take a look at some of the other news here in the market. And listen, I try to bring a lot of the positive news. Oh, and before I forget, I got a lot of people watching, not a lot of likes. Smash up those likes, man. Smash them up.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And we got a lot of people on X. So, hey, thank you for being here on X. We got like 10 people watching on X right now. Appreciate that. Jump into the chat. Say, hey, we'll give you a quick shout out. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. But I try to bring you a lot of the positive news, good news for, Bitcoin adoption and crypto adoption and all that kind of stuff. But let's be honest, not everything in the news is always positive. It's just not. So to that end, unfortunately, we have this. The Attorney General over in basically saying that he's made his intention known to Coinbase that he is going to continue on with the previous efforts of the SEC to target Coinbase for basically operating an unregistered securities exchange and being a broker dealer. And we'll just scroll down so you can see this ding dong's face right here. And I mean, seriously, it's like, come on. But again, not all positive. And we're going to go take a look at Brian Armstrong's response in a second. And again, links to everything I'm showing you is in the description. So go ahead and check it out on your own. Do your own research. Joe, anything you want to throw in there before we go take a look at?
I saw this when it came out. And the first thing I thought of was, man, Coinbase is literally trying to bend over backwards to be as compliant as possible.
Yes.
And the SEC has been nothing but just resilient at keeping that door shut and, not letting anybody in to comply. So.
And what 100 Air said right here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Okay, so basically, obviously, Coinbase is going to respond, and this article.
And they got the money too. And maybe that's all it is a cash grab for the courts. But they got money to back up, pay their lawyers because they have a bunch.
I was about to say, to bring out the lawyers, yeah. Exactly. All right, so obviously, this article right here from CoinCo does give you all of the same information that I just kind of highlighted there. Excuse me. But in that particular tweet that I shared, it did not have the response. So I did want to read this. Basically, Brian Armstrong, who, as we all know, CEO Coinbase, responded to the securities enforcement action initiated by the Oregon Attorney General, stating that the lawsuit is baseless, as the previous lawsuit filed by Coinbase against Coinbase by the SEC and relies on outdated theories that have been dismissed. And exactly, I mean, thank God that things are changing in the space. Thank God that the regulatory environment is changing with regard to crypto. And again, I know we're still, or they are still to some degree using the Howey test, for example, with regard to this, which I think is insane, but okay, fine. But I think the interpretations of that test with regard to what we're seeing, and especially against exchanges right here, because what are they targeting? They're targeting the earn program in a lot of these cases for Coinbase. And I know what they're also saying, some of these cryptos are securities, but a lot of what they're focusing on is the fact that you can actually earn a yield on Coinbase. Now, that's not where I would be staking my crypto. Again, we've had that conversation a number of times. Not your keys, not your coins, but that's a lot of where these rogue regulators are coming from, in my opinion. Joe, feel free to add anything else you want on that before we move on to some other stuff.
Completely off topic, and we'll go from there. But the image that you showed, clearly AI, and it's
absolutely.
like, dude, could you not spend 20 minutes to fix it before you posted it for everybody to see? Okay, that's it.
No, it's funny. I was gonna mention it, but I'm like, I don't know how well it would show up here on the video. So the fact that you saw it means I should have mentioned it. You're right. Go take a look at that, guys. His link is in the description. Go take a look at it. You can tell what Joe said. It's completely AI generated, and they didn't even bother to try and fix the three hand situation. But that's a whole nother issue. Yeah. My goodness. I mean, I love AI. I use it all the time. And I know you do too, same. Joe. But it's like
I spend my 20
at
minutes to fix, but yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's your name you're putting out there. Come on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Okay. Let's continue on with the news here because we got about 20 minutes, not even, and we're going to be heading over to Joe's stream. So let's get it. This to me, and again, positive news, negative news. This to me was in that negative news category and sad news category, quite frankly. I love the Kabisi letter, get a lot of information from and share about the information they put out in the Kabisi letter. In this case, the number of Americans working multiple jobs has jumped by 76,000 in the month of March. So a now record 8.94 million people working multiple jobs here in the United States. That exceeds the 2019 high of over 500,000. As a share of employment, multiple job holders rose to 5.5%, the highest since 2009. This comes as 28.47 million people work part-time jobs in the U.S., which is the third highest on record. And millions of Americans working multiple jobs just to afford the necessities is how they round this off. And I'm going to just scroll down a little bit so you can see the graph here. I mean, so many multiple issues with what is stated in that tweet, not the least of which is, okay, obviously Americans need to work more than one job just to survive. Problem numero uno. And in my opinion, the second part of the problem with that is you've got full-time employment basically pulling back. So these people have to work multiple part-time jobs to equal the full-time employment. I mean, I know we're hopeful that this is going to change with this new administration, and in fairness, right? I mean, we're not even at the 100-day mark yet, though we're closing in on that. So it would be unfair to basically say, they screwed up, because again, they're still dealing with the effects of what had come before them. So please feel free, throw your thoughts into the chat. I would love to see it. Joe, anything else you want to chime in on with regard to that?
This just proves the ones that have. The ones that don't, won't. So with that being said, the people who are well off or rich, or maybe even people that live on just credit cards and don't care that their credit cards bill is going up and they can't pay it because they're living in the moment. But for everybody else, they're like, man, I need to pay my light. I need groceries. So because I'm not making enough money, now I have to get another job. When other people are looking and say, you know what, groceries went up, I guess, that's what my maid tells me. But, I'm still, it doesn't affect them. So the ones that have, they have it. Like, it doesn't, but the ones that don't, like, it puts a stress on us to where now we're having to do more and just to get the bare minimum But I mean, if you think about it, let's say I get a job for Uber or Lyft or just to drive people around. The people who I'm driving around are the haves. Normally, they're not just people going out or whatever. I'm picking up people from the airport because they have a business meeting, they have an expo,
Yep.
whatever it is.
Yep.
Like these are successful people, and they continue to have, while us lower class, I guess, we're having to do all these extra things just so we can survive. And it's always been like that. It'll always be like that. That's why changing the shift that we need to make is do what they're doing. They're investing. They're learning about
Yes.
finances. They're learning about
Yes.
the economics. Instead of being worried about the Kardashians or whatever other people are out there, instead of worrying about them, and we have to invest in ourselves so we can change our lives and our futures and our kids' lives.
Yep.
Now, granted, the people who need this information really need it. Well, they're not watching us; they're watching the Kardashians or
sadly,
TikTok or whatever. Yeah,
sadly,
and
yeah. I was just gonna say they're scrolling through TikTok on their phone. Yeah,
and like for me, when I was younger, I didn't know about finances. Nobody taught me. I was in that environment. And one thing, and I know we're getting off the track, but one thing that really, really gets me, and it boils my blood. It really does. Story time. It boils my blood. And it's not so much racism, but it's always the fact that people that say, and it's normally, they have a lot of money. They say money only fixes money problems, or money really not important once you make it. Matter of fact, there was somebody who had mentioned on a post where they said, when money's not an issue, call me, let's talk. And I'm thinking, why don't I call you right now? Because I have no light, I have no food. If you have enough money, please, for the love of God, help me. As opposed to, when I'm successful, sure, let's go hang out on the yacht. Let's go, no. So for me, whenever I see all these very successful people and they're like, let's talk, once you can enter the VIP, then we can talk. No, man, like, let's talk right now. Like, what are you doing? What were your secrets? Like, show me how to do finances. Show me how to buy houses or whatever you're doing. Like, how did you get to where you're at? Versus, I'm here already. When you get here, let's have some coffee. That's just like my pet peeve.
No, I'm with you, and I appreciate that story time, by the way. And I'm just gonna because you said racist.
That's my cousin. He's like, I'm not racist.
Amen, BC. Amen. Oh man. It's hilarious. And right here, and then I just want to highlight a couple of things you said, because you hit a lot of stuff there, Joe. Anyone that says money only fixes money problems has never been living in their car. Amen, BC. Working 2 jobs, eating ramen that they cooked at a gas. Yes, thank you, 100%. BC. All right, listen, if you're on YouTube, put those damn BC Poor Corp emojis in the chat. BC just fire right there with that comment. Absolutely. And facts, man, facts. Now, you highlighted about education and how the people who really need this education are on TikTok doing this, right? And you're right.
They don't know. They don't know.
Yeah, well, exactly. They don't know what they don't know, right? Exactly right. Exactly right. Listen, but to that end, and I'm going to do a little more promotion for me. Listen, I'm putting together a series meant for newbies, and I'm in the thick of the recording and the editing of that. It's going to be dropping the beginning of May. I'm going to definitely be on the morning report with BC when that happens. We're gonna put that out there. We'll hopefully be able to talk about it as part of his show and so on and so forth. So watch for that. We're less than 2 weeks away, and I'm talking everything from having the right mindset to a little bit about the history of the crypto space, because I mean, how can you operate here if you don't know what the holy hell happened here? And risk management, macroeconomic factors, that's a whole first section. I mean, this is the stuff that you need to know before you're like, okay, go sign up for Coinbase, in my humble opinion.
Right.
That you need to know. Anyway, watch for that. That's coming. And because Joe mentioned it, I just had to kind of put that out there. And I want to jump back just 1 second. I know we got like 10 minutes to get over to Joe's stream, and I still got a couple of things to go over, but BC highlighted this back from the Coinbase conversation we were having, and he's like, yeah, they got to prove it's a security first. Amen, brother. Amen. And that they're not gonna, well, my opinion is they're not going to be doing that very effectively. My opinion. All right. So listen, we're going to talk gold now. I got a couple of things with regard to gold. And then we're going to, again, 9 minutes. We're heading over to Joe's stream. We're going to go raid his stream. Joe, whenever you got to leave, you just let us know. And man, we'll be out of here. Oh, look at this. Crypto Princess is in the house. Appreciate you coming here, Princess. Thank you so much. And yeah, everybody, put those crowns into the chat. Crowns. I'm even taking a second right now. Put those crowns in there. There we go. All right. Thank you, Princess. Appreciate you being here. All right. So let's go talking about some gold. So this is what I got. Bring this up. So again, Kabisi letter. Love the Kabisi letter. Basically, gold is trading like we are in a depression. Over the last 20 years, gold is now outperforming stocks, up 620% as compared to 580% gain in the S&P 500. Over the last 9 months, gold has officially surged over $1,000 per ounce. And now I'm not going to go through this entire thread because they break it down in this thread, but I did want to bring this up right here and way down here. I don't know if you can see my mouse hovering right there, where it talks about the Fed pivot begins, and then you come up a little bit and they're saying Trump elected, and then one more trade war begins. And those, I think, are such key points, at least in recent in recent economic history, right? So I wanted to make sure that was up here. But the facts that I love that they're pointing out that where gold is working and trading like we're in a recession. How many times, for those who follow Army Piper, and again, link to Piper Academy in the description, you hear him talking, recessionary factors, and, red flags and that kind of thing. And here we go. Gold, in their opinion, trading in this regard, and they're right. Gold has skyrocketed over $1,000 in the last short period of time. Joe, feel free. I got one other gold thing I want to share, but feel free, jump right in there before you got to take off, man.
Yeah, no, it's scary that, but it's true. So yeah, Piper Academy, check them out every morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But yeah,
yes. Facts. And again, link to everybody is in the description. So go ahead and do that. And here's the last one. Now, the link to this, I'm going to share it in the live chat because unfortunately, I saw this morning and I didn't have the opportunity to put it into the description. So let me put it in the live chat right now. If I can get my live chat working. Here we go. Boom. There it is. So, you can go ahead and check this tweet out right here. But basically, again, from the Kabisi letter, saying that gold with another all-time high,
man,
crazy, above $3,400 an ounce for the first time in history. And basically, gold is now officially up 100% since 2020, compared to the 86% on the S&P. So now in a more condensed time period, they're basically giving you that same information that I just shared, but now you're looking at it in a 5-year span instead of a 10-year span. That's right. Gold is outperforming the S&P since the pandemic. And again, I'll leave this screenshot up right here so you can see that. Joe, I mean, I don't know. I know you don't really follow gold, but I mean, did you know about that?
I was looking at gold back in 2021, and I was like, but I didn't know how to trade. I was just learning how to trade and everything else. I was like, I don't know. I think it was like just over $1,000, maybe like 1,400, 1,500, something like that.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I might just wait on it. Forgot all about it 6 months later, and I looked, it's like, how much is it? And then I was like, well, maybe it'll come down. It's just gone up.
Yeah, it's
So,
done nothing but go up. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've had like little blurb pullback, kind of like you see with the Bitcoin chart, right? With the little dips, right? But yeah, then it's been like the moon, basically, with regard to gold. Just like
speaking about
proverbial
dips,
moon mission.
I'm gonna dip out of here. I do appreciate everybody. I'll be going live in just a few minutes, and then once this show is done, you'll automatically be forward to my show. So if you're on X, hop on over here to YouTube. Make sure to smash the like. Make sure to actually be active in the comments so we can give you a shout out. And then we'll be going over to my channel where I go over Bitcoin, I go over your coins, I go over thought process. I let you know the real trading versus all of this retro mentorship, retro trading. It's very easy. And I tell this to everybody, it's so easy doing ranges or trading when you use the replay button because you know what already happened.
Right.
So if you want real trading, come over to my show. I do thank you guys very much. If you haven't already, smash the like, and I will see you on my channel. Thank you, CCM. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you in a few minutes, man. Thanks for being here.
All right, take care.
And yeah, just to refresh everybody's memory, Joe and I are live every Monday and now every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Monday, for Crypto Market Mondays, we basically get you the news from the weekend, talk Bitcoin, give you the news to kind of get your week started, the market look to get your week started. And then Wednesday, we kind of do a midweek check-in, catch any news that came out throughout the week. And then again, Joe takes another look at that Bitcoin chart, and we try and set you in for the rest of your week. So like Joe said, we're going to head straight over to his stream. I'm going to give you the results of that poll and then a couple of other tidbits of information, and then we're going to head over there. So stick tight. If you're on X, come on over. And man, I appreciate everybody who's on X right now. We got over 10 people on X, 11 people on X. That's awesome. Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. But in order to get forwarded straight over to this Joe's stream and go raid his stream, you got to be on YouTube. Got to be on the YouTube. All right. So the poll I had in the live stream on YouTube was basically asking, is this pump in the market a fake out? And 85% of you said yes, and 14% saying no. So wow. I'm with you. I really do believe this is a fake out, but in my opinion, what the hell do I know? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, old guy interwebs, and it looks like I'm having some internet issues right now. So hopefully you can still hear me here. It looks like I'm frozen. Damn. Okay. Anyway, all right, we're gonna head over to Joe's stream. So just stick tight, and hopefully, as I try to end everything here, you'll be forwarded over. Appreciate everybody being here. Watch for 7 p.m. tonight Eastern time for Hot of the Line. And all right, I'm out.